Good morning, everyone. So by now you've probably heard that Microsoft has released a new version of Windows. Well, not yet, but it's coming. And so it's called Windows 11. If you've not seen it or heard of it, I don't know. It was released. Microsoft made an official announcement 3 days ago. So today is June 27th as of the recording of this. So it was on June 24th that they released the official notice of Windows 11. So if you've seen in my previous videos, I had made comment that Microsoft had to put out an operating system every 5 to 10 years. It's simply because technology changes. And so for the longest time, Microsoft was behind the ball. So usually it's like every 5 years they release a operating system. They've done that for years, or close to a decade and a half. So with this one, they're actually behind the ball. Windows 10 has been officially designed to retire in 2025. So that's a little bit, just over 4 years from now. Usually Microsoft releases an operating system every 5 and let the two run in tandem. With this, like I said, they're a little bit behind on this, and in my previous videos you've probably heard me say we didn't know what Microsoft was going to do. I was thinking it was going to be the Windows core system, and then that got scrapped. There was talk of Windows 10X, and then that got scrapped. 10S, that got scrapped, and they took pieces and parts of the Windows core system and Windows 10X, Windows 10S, put it all together in the new operating system of Windows 11. According to what I know so far, Windows 11 will be a free upgrade to Windows 10, possibly even Windows 7, starting in October of this year. And it will be available until June of 2022. So you can get the free upgrade. Now, as we've seen, I have done upgrades for Windows 7 to Windows 10 in recent weeks, and the upgrade goes through free. As long as your Windows 7 key is valid, when you do the upgrade, it transfers over to Windows 10. Most of the time, not always. Sometimes Microsoft will say, nope, you got to buy it, and then I got to charge you for it, because I got to buy it then. But yeah, so we've got the new Windows 11 come out. So let's take a look at it. Now, I have not downloaded it, and I refuse to download it until the official tech preview is available, which is supposed to come out the first week of July. Then I will be able to download it, install it on a virtual machine, hopefully, and test it. But if you've been around YouTube, you've probably seen a whole bunch of other tech people talking about they've already downloaded it, installed it on a virtual machine, and so on and so forth. This is the leaked version from China, and in my previous video when it says Windows 11 was leaked, I don't know if I can put a link in there or not, I said not to download it because it was coming from China. It was leaked. Microsoft never acknowledged it, to be cautious. They still have yet to officially acknowledge the leak. And if you look at the leak and you're looking at the details of it on YouTube, it actually still says development mode. So it's like not ready for use on your computer. So don't even try. But let's look at this. What's probably going to happen, and you need to be aware of this now, the same thing that happened for Windows 10 is the same thing that's going to happen to you for Windows 11 if your computer is ready for it. One day in the future, in about 3 to 4 months, you're going to turn on your computer and it's going to be completely different, and it is going to tick the heck out of you because you don't want it. There should be an option to restore previous version. Windows 10 had it for Windows 7. I'm going to assume, and you know how that is, I'm going to assume that Windows 11 will have a rollback option too, to go back to Windows 10 if you are forced with a Windows 11. So something I wanted to show you, for those who are curious, this is on the official Microsoft website. Minimum requirements for the new Windows 11: it has to be a 1 gigahertz, 2 core or more processor. They have to be 64-bit processor cores, 4 gigs of RAM, 64-bit of storage, 64 gigabytes of storage. The reason why they put 64 on there, because that would be for the minis that I complain about every year, because they go on sale cheap for $99 and everyone buys them up, and once you get all the updates in for Windows 10, you have no hard drive space. That is an SSD. Just be aware of that. I had a young woman, a client, for graduation, take some of her graduation money and went and bought a brand new HP Stream. And she goes, it won't load, it won't update or whatever. And I said, well, what'd you get? HP Stream? I'm saying, that's why. And it can't be upgraded. The streams, the hard drives, the memory chips are welded to the motherboard. They do that so basically you use it until it dies, you throw it away and buy another one. Unfortunately, because of inflation and all that, she paid a decent amount of money for it, because it wasn't on sale, just to find out that she can't upgrade it, she can't do more memory to it. She, in a sense, got screwed. That's why I tell people, if you're going to buy something new and you're not sure, feel free to call. The phone number's up there. Write it down, take a picture, whatever. But if you're looking to buy a new laptop, or desktops, you won't have to worry about it, because most desktops are upgradable. But if you're buying a new laptop and it's really, really inexpensive, call us. We'll pull some specs on it and see, is it upgradable? In this particular case, $250, and I don't want to say down the drain, because it can still be used, just not in the capacity that she wanted. And so she was really upset about that. So yes, 64 gigabytes. No, you'll want a lot more, trust me. The secure boot capability, almost all computers now have that. If it's been in the last, if your computer is almost a decade old, you have the secure boot option. If you're running Windows 10 on your computer, most likely it is using secure boot. If you're running Windows 10 32-bit though, it is not using it, so you will not be able to upgrade. Here's the one that's going to kill a lot of us. Besides the graphics card, it says DirectX 12 graphics with Windows capability. That's what that is. Most of us have that. It's almost automatic now. Either you have a graphics card that can do that, or you have integrated graphics on your motherboard. That's not an issue. Two things that are going to kill you now. This TPN module version 2. This is a BIOS setting. And what I want to point out to this is, if your computer is less than 4 years old, you should automatically have this in your BIOS. This is for BitLocker, this is for security, this is your tamper resistance, this is your anti-hacking. This is why I tell people that nowadays it's almost impossible to directly hack a computer. They use software, malware, spyware to steal your information, because they just can't directly, or they talk you into doing a remote. They can't just break into your computer. I mean, it can still be done, but it's very difficult with this new trusted module. So here's the other thing that ticks me off. Internet connection is required for Windows 11. Yeah. We're going to test that when we get our graphics capable, or when we get the test module, or the tech preview. We're going to test that, because I absolutely refuse to believe that they're going to. That just makes no sense. There are people who live out in the boonies who don't have internet. I know. It's a surprise, right? We live in rural Ohio. There are parts of the country, I go 4 miles south of here and I can't pick up internet for crap. Even I can barely get cell phone service, and you're going to demand Windows 11 have internet connectivity. Not only is it internet connectivity, but you have to have a Microsoft account. No, absolutely not. Change that. So when the new tech preview comes out, and I'm able to download it and test it. I am going to check to see if there's a way around it. And now I know a lot of people get this with a new computer. They don't know this. They get their new computer, they take it out of the box, they turn it on, and they start going through the setup. And Cortana, I love Cortana. They took it away during the setup for Windows 11. Cortana is gone, but I love Cortana on the newer version of Windows 10 install and setup. Cortana talked to you and guided you. So here's the problem I have with this. As you're going through it on a brand new computer setup for Windows 10, it'll say, let's connect to the internet so you can get more cat videos. And I tell people, don't do this, create local accounts. Do not connect to the internet. Force it to go into local account mode so you can put in your own information, your own password, without Microsoft knowing all of your business. I mean, they're still going to know your business because it's their operating system. You don't technically ever buy the operating system. It's a rental for life. And that is actually mentioned in the TOS. If you go looking at the details on it, you don't own it. And this started when Bill Gates first started with DOS, and he sold the operating system to Microsoft. If you ever watched Silicon Valley, one of the rules that he made when he sold the operating system to IBM was, I retain the rights to the operating system. And they like laughed. Okay, not a problem. See? Yeah. So if it requires a Microsoft account, which I hope you can bypass, that's going to be a problem. Because personally, I think that is intrusive. That allows Microsoft to gather more information about you than what they need to know. So hopefully that could be bypassed like it is in Windows 10. So you don't need to sign up with a Microsoft account, but we shall see when the tech review comes out. If a Windows 10 or if a Microsoft account is required, I don't know. I don't know how to get around it. So we'll have to see, because I'm sure there's going to be some, I don't want to say hackers. I'm sure there are going to be people out there who is going to learn how to bypass that. And they'll publish that information and allow us to have local accounts again. So here's the requirements. So 1 gigahertz dual core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabyte hard drive, secure boot, TPM version 2, graphics card, minimum 720p screen, and then it says a Microsoft account and internet connection. So with that, you can also, you can check your particular computer to see if you're available, if you have all that stuff, and you could download the specs and so on and so forth. It reminds you again, this is what you need. Yeah, here's the other thing I wanted. This is why you need the Microsoft account, because if you want to get out of Windows 11 Home S mode, you need to be able to go into the Windows Store, which requires a Microsoft account, to disable that. So, excuse me for the cough. That's probably why. So if we could bypass that, hopefully, we'll see. We'll figure that out. In the past, what I've had to do for clients who've gotten brand new computers and they're stuck in S mode, normally what I do is I sign in with my account, download it, unlock it, disable my account from their computer, and it's usually done. So, or disable it from my account, and then I can unlock it from there. But we shall see how this works. And then you can actually where's it at? Appreciation, yeah. Where is the downloader? And I know they have a download so you could test it. That's why I came. Oh, there it is. PC Health Check app. So if you download this to your computer now and run it, most of the time, I believe it said in some of the other websites I was talking about, it looks to see if you do not, if you're reading here, These are the basic requirements for Windows 11. If your device doesn't meet this, you may not be able to install Windows 11 on your device. Consider purchasing a new PC. Check with your PC's manufacturer to see if it is capable. Now, I want you to see this. I downloaded this PC health check. Just so you know, this PC that I'm running, and I wish I could turn the camera so you can see it, but if you've been in my office, you know what it looks like. It's got dual monitors. I don't want to say it's a full-size tower, but it's a good-sized tower. I have a really, really good computer. It's a little over a year old. It has an AMD Threadripper 16-core dual thread, so I could run 32 threads. It's got lots of RAM in it. It's got multiple SSDs, multiple hard drives in it, because not only is this my computer, but it's also the office server. And it also doubles for for my clients that do remote backups. It's for that purpose too. So let me show you this. So I downloaded it and ran it. So as you can see, 48 gigs of RAM. It's recognizing the 1 terabyte SSD, which is the primary operating system. It even acknowledges it's a year old. It's a year and 3 months. But hey, we're not going to complain. So let me show you this. I can't install it. It says my computer is not capable. The processor is not supported. What the hell? It's an AMD Threadripper 16 core. That means there are 16 physical processors on there. But wait, it says 2 or more at a gigahertz. Mine are running at 3.4, I believe it is. I should more than qualify for it. All this means, and if you run this on your PC and check your computer and it says this, don't be alarmed yet, especially if you are interested in getting the Windows 11 update. Don't be alarmed yet. It's very possible that the operating system or this program here has not been updated with all the processors in the world. The AMD Threadripper that I have is relatively new. 2 years old, 2.5 years old. So yeah, it's relatively new. So it's very possible that those specs have not been integrated in this PC health check. That's why it's showing that up. I went and just to check, and this is the one I was saying that's going to get a lot of people in the future, is this TPN. If your computer is more than 4 years old, you may or may not have the TPN to upgrade in your BIOS, and the only way to know is to look at your BIOS. I don't know if there's a piece of software that lets you look at it or not. So if you don't know how to look at your BIOS, you can look up the specs on your manufacturers and see if the TPN version 2 is already on your computer. If it is, then you don't have to worry about it. If it is not, which is going to be version 1, and I think there's actually a version 1.1. I've seen it. It's very rare. Check with the motherboard manufacturers. Again, if you know how to do that, great. If you don't, you'll have to ask me to do it. And see if there's a flash or a BIOS update that will give you the 2 TPN. I suspect what's going to happen here in the next year. Computer manufacturers are not going to upgrade their BIOS unless it's something relatively new. So they're not going to go back into the old operating systems or the old motherboards systems and upgrade their BIOSes for the new TPN. They're going to put a call-off date, and I'm going to say that's probably around about 4 years. So if your motherboard or your computer is 4 years or newer, there is possibly a BIOS update available for the manufacturer to get this TPN 2.0. If your computer is 5 years or older, or your motherboard is 5 years or older, they're not going to do it. Because it takes a lot of time to go into the BIOS and reprogram it on an individual level, and then you have to package it and set it all up, and you have to make it non-techie proof. So you buy off, because if you put the wrong BIOS in your computer, you will brick it. All it will do is be an overglorified doorstop at that point. So if you know how to flash your BIOS, fine. but still be cautious. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, don't do it. Don't attempt to do it. Bring it to me. And that's just the simple solution to that. This is where, like I said, they're going to force you to buy a new computer, because that's your tamper resistance, that's your security blocks, that's your anti-hacking. So, yeah, and they're going to force you to buy a new computer. Excuse me. They're going to force you to buy a new computer because your computer is too old. I can't help that. There's nothing I can do about that. So, but that's what it is. And I showed you the health check. And so I just wanted you to be aware of that. So, like I said, Microsoft has said that they're going to start making it available for updates on Windows 10 users around about October. It may get pushed back. It may be a little bit earlier. But just so you know, that's generally what it's going to look like. So one day you're going to turn on your computer, or you're going to get up, grab your coffee, sit down to your computer, and it's going to look like this. Yeah. Or it won't look like this. It'll make you do a Microsoft account first, then it will look like this. Yeah, just so you're aware, all of you who had Windows 7 who were forced to upgrade to Windows 10, I suspect they're going to do that for Windows 11, just so you're aware. So be prepared. Be very prepared. And like I said, it is what it is. Microsoft has to put out an operating system every 5 to 7 years. I've said that before. Operating systems are usually good for 10. Previous videos I've talked about, where's the new operating system? Microsoft was behind schedule. Now they have released it. Now we know. But again, once I get a tech preview and I'm able to test it on a virtual machine and make sure it's stable and make sure it doesn't have anything really, really wrong with it, for those of you who want to see it without actually putting it on your computers, let me know. And if I can get AnyDesk or TeamViewer to work, I'll run it as a virtual machine and I'll walk you through, so you can remote into this Windows 11 when I have it up and running, and you can look at it and you can play with it and see what your thoughts are. Yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to tick off a lot of people. Not that it's a bad thing. We all should be doing the major upgrades when they come through for security reasons. But older people don't like change. The computers work. I've got clients it's taken 7 years for them to upgrade to Windows 10, and now they're going to cram a Windows 11 down their throat? Yeah, no. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, something to look forward to in the future. So, just be aware that's coming. You don't have a choice in the matter. You should be able to do a rollback, or if it fails to install, it should automatically roll back, and you'll never know if it's in the middle of the night, if it's in the middle of the day. Don't know what to tell you. But it should give you, at least in years past, Microsoft has always allowed for a 30-day rollback to the previous operating system. You'll probably be able to get that option with Windows 11 to go back to Windows 10 if you prefer, but remember, Windows 10 is expiring in 4 years, so if you wish to wait up to 4 years before getting Windows 11, which, you know what, I've got clients who've done that. So, yeah, but like I said, once I'm able to download an official tech review from Microsoft where I'm allowed to have it, not this leak stuff that comes out of China, I will put it on a VPN. I'll put it on a virtual machine, test it out, play with it, and then those of you who want to look at it without it being on your computers, we'll schedule times. I'll set up, like I said, AnyDesk or TeamViewer, and you can remote into it, provided it allows it. You can remote to it and kind of tinker with it and play with yourself. So you'll be doing it from your home computer, but it'll look like your computer. If you've done virtual machines before or virtual computers, you know how that works. If you've never done one before, if you're a client, you've probably seen it where I've taken control of your computer with your permission. Now it's going to be working in reverse. You're going to take control of the virtual computer on Windows 11 and tinker with it from your computer. So, yeah, That's the idea. That's the plan. We'll see how this goes. All I know is, come October, there's going to be a whole bunch of ticked off people, and they're going to come, not necessarily yell and scream at me, um, but they'll need to vent. So guess who gets? Guess who is going to get the blunt of that? Um, and I often joke, for my business clients who have contract with us, counseling services are provided for free. So, yeah, you get. Anyways, if you're in the service area, you have a computer problem, even before Windows 11 comes out and screws up your machines. This is our service area here. You can see we cover, all the way over here to, that's roughly Vermilion. That's roughly Millbury, all the way down into, all this area. If you live or work in this area and you need a computer fixed, give us a call, schedule time. You can either drop it off to us or we can come to you, your choice. If you're in the Norwalk or Sandusky area, or you work in those locations, I do have Dropbox locations in Norwalk and in Sandusky. So you could take your laptop, desktop, go to one of those locations, fill out the form. I'll come get it from there, and I'll return it back to the same spot, and I can get it all fixed for you. Questions, there's phone number. Leave comments in the comment section down below. So I'm sure it's going to be a fun and exciting, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year to go. Yeah. So you could find us over on Facebook. There's our MeWe page. Like and share the video, please. It does help. Subscribe if you can, so every time I upload a new video and it's available, you get an alert for it, but it only shows up on YouTube, and you may get an email. There's a website if you need to take a look at our website. You guys have a great day. I will talk to you later.